When you want your spring break to feel like... and your kids' pool day to feel like... and your hotel bed to feel like... ooh, and room service to feel like... because at Hilton, hospitality feels like...
Your cabana's ready. Would you like fresh towels?
It matters where you stay. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
TaxAct knows filing taxes can be confusing, so we have live experts on hand who can help answer any questions you may have. Questions like, can I claim my SUV as my home office if I answer work emails in my car? If I adopted 12 dogs this year, can I list them as dependents? And, am I doing this right, or am I doing this very, very wrong? Our experts have the answers to those questions and many others. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Our dreams have been answered. Look, the world is burning, but I did convince my brother to watch Heated Rivalry and talk to him about it. Or talk to me about it. So we're doing it. We're doing our big fat Heated Rivalry episode where I get to talk about how much I love gay men.
I'm very excited to get into this. I have seen a preview from the GIFs. I don't know why I said GIFs. The GIFs that you have shared. It is troubling to see your mind at work.
I sent you an image of all my notes. It's not that much. It's about how much notes I write for like a Traders episode.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think so. I also think, when you shared with me and our cousin yesterday that you have watched the show 3 times over, and some episodes or some scenes over 20 times.
Yeah.
It's I am very scared about the things that I may have missed because here's what I'll say. I really, really love the show. And I'm really excited to talk about it. I think it's an important show. I think it's a show that everybody should watch.
Yes.
I hope that I can match your energy when it comes to how much you enjoy the show. Although I think that's not possible given how you changed the display picture on your HBO Max profile.
To Leah Rosenoff. And then did you see, it used to say our like family last name, but then I changed it to Zahiranoff.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, hey, what is this? But then I just had a laugh. I had a laugh.
You said, oh, my sister's a crazy person.
Yeah. She said, I think that's what I was like, oh, okay, yeah. This is just her being a
Oh, that's right. My sister's a lunatic.
Yes,
that's right. This is just par for the course or whatever it is that they say.
Look at you making sports analogies, Miss Sportsy. You know what par for the course is from?
Golf.
Oh, look at you. Hey, all those episodes are paying off.
Ask me some hockey questions. I wonder if I know anything about hockey. Like the sport itself, not like people who play hockey.
So I'm sure you know about the Stanley Cup.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Do you know anything about the play? Well, I guess you just said no. Anything. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to know what the offsides rule is because I barely know what the offsides rule is and stuff like that. Do you know the overtime rules? Do you know? Okay, here. Do you know what a man down goal means?
It means that there's one player missing from the other team.
Yeah. Why is that player missing?
They're put in a penalty box.
Ooh, look at you. Yeah, it's a power play. So you're one of your guys or ladies, listen, open mind. is has been penalized, so it's like a 4-on-5, and then you still score. It's like a
Yeah.
no-go.
I'm just giggling because penalized sounds so much like penis.
Penis-sized.
So, yeah. Also, I do know that in hockey, there are not quarters, they're
Oh,
sessions.
periods.
Damn it.
How
And
many are
there's
there?
three. All right. Okay, let's get into this show. I did give you like a rough agenda, but then I'm sure you noticed from my notes that you were like, that doesn't look anything like what she sent me. So we're just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna go
Can
episode by episode. Yes.
Yes. Can I so actually because you know it is like you were talking about sports and like getting into hockey or whatever. I think that it is important to kind of talk about this right up top because I don't want it to be a distraction while we're talking about the episode because honestly like the show itself is worthy of like your viewership and the show
Yeah.
itself is like worthy of the experience just on its own, right?
Yeah.
But I think that it's important to talk about it as like a sports fan because once again, like when I first came into the show, I heard gay hockey show, right? And
Yeah.
there's almost like this reflexive hesitation that kicks in because like especially if you grew up in a traditional sports culture,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that hesitation comes from like my own immaturity. And I think when I say my own, I think I'm kind of par for the course. Look at that. Another. I'm kind of I would say I'm pretty par for the course. I think of myself as a progressive person. I think of myself as an open-minded person. But like I think, you know, there is immaturity and like underdeveloped thinking about sexuality, especially like in a world that's like largely built around straight people. And like
Yeah.
our culture is like exclusively built around straight people, right? And those things are slowly changing, but obviously that's you know that's always something that needs to be better, but also like sports culture in and of itself is like has this almost like this casual drive-by homophobia,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like the way that we talk about like players being weak and like softness and toughness and like the language that we use to like describe it or whatever. So when I heard gay hockey show, I was like, well, it almost feels like it's a fetish, like they're fetishizing this like sacred thing that sports fans care about, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that is a completely like you know I know that that is a stupid idea, right? But there is
Yeah.
a hesitation that comes, right? But one of the things that I noticed, and this is like the first thing that I noticed, like from the first episode, is that the show is obviously made by sports fans. And you can
Mm-hmm.
tell that it's made by sports fans because it doesn't feel the need to over explain itself
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel the need to like dumb itself down, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I was watching F1 like 2 nights ago,
Mm-hmm.
again, and like as like I've like almost I'm not like a big F1 fan, but I watch like that Drive to the Survive series or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You watch F1 and you can tell that okay, some of this stuff is dumbed down for the general audience.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I don't know if you've ever watched a movie called Draft Day. I'm sure your husband fucking loves it. Do you know about Draft
I'm
Day?
sure. I don't know about draft day.
Draft Day is like the dumbest
Draft days.
movie.
Draft days. His heated rivalry.
It probably
Probably.
is. Draft Day is like the dumbest fucking sports movie of all time that I have watched roughly 150 times on YouTube Shorts. It's basically the story of like Kevin Costner as the Browns GM going through the draft.
Oh.
And like
Okay.
you
Yeah.
you watch it and you're just like, "Oh, some of this shit is just like so dumb that they need to
Mm-hmm.
explain it and like the way that they like go about stuff is just stupid." But Heated Rivalry is not like that at all. Like
Yeah.
it respects the audience, it
Mm.
respects you as a sports fan.
Mm.
And that was for me, you know, coming into this kind of with hesitation, whatever, that was like such a welcome, like it felt like such a welcome moment to me
Yeah.
because I was like, okay, if they are treating like the sports part of this with so much respect and care and all those things, then the rest of it I would assume is also like that, right? Like so
Yeah.
like I don't have to and like you watch it and you go, yeah, of course, like all this is so worth it. So I
Yes.
just wanted to say that kind of up top. And then I'm sure like you know,
We're
like
gonna get into
the gay sex stuff we're gonna get into. But I don't think I need to talk about that right now. But it is an adjustment that you have to make. that I had to make. I'll say that not everybody has to make, that I had to make. And what I realize is like, hey man, like not everything is made completely for you, right? Like not
Yeah.
everything is like, the show is made for who it's made for. And for those folks, like I think that I'm the one that's missing out on like the entirety of the experience, right? Like I'm the one that's losing out. It's
Yeah.
not, like there's no reason for the show to pull punches. And like really, like the show, it's nothing is that explicit. That what
Yep.
you real what you realize is like the problem that I had, or like the thing that we're not used to, is watching, or that I wasn't used to again, is watching two men be intimate with each other. And yes,
Intimate.
there's an obvious physical component to it, but there's a way more emotional component to it. And like, if you are okay, I mean, if you are okay, I mean, fuck it. Like, this isn't Fallujah, right? Somebody's telling you to watch a show. Like, if you aren't too stupid to let that distract you, the entire experience of the show is so absolutely worth it. So
Yeah.
that was my straight man thing that I wanted to put up top, because I'm a Neanderthal and stupid. But I just thought that it was worth talking about, because I don't want it to be a distraction, because the show
Okay.
is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I just want to clarify something. Now, I did say to you and our cousin, I've watched the show thrice and I've seen some scenes over 20 times. So I just want to clarify that's because, much like you've watched Draft Day a million times on YouTube Shorts, I have been on Instagram and Threads just pounding down those edits. People are putting edits together of like the first time they say I love you, like they're like little like, no, you come here, no, you come here stuff. Like, I've seen edits of their love so many times that I'm like, no, I love them. They're like the best guys in the world. I will say, before we start, like you were talking about, like, the gay sex, whatever. Hudson Williams said, come for the hot sex, stay for the warm love. Because I think that like really encompasses what you get out of the show. Like, yeah, I think it's kind of presented very much like, yeah, there's just a bunch of like hot gay guys fucking each other. But I think that it's, again, I think I mentioned this like a few weeks ago when we were talking about it, is that I think that Jacob Tierney did a really good job of presenting you in the start of this conversation, like at the start of the show. Yes, you're going to have to get comfortable watching two men be intimate with each other.
Yep.
Because something that we talk about a lot is people say love is love, but they're not comfortable with the idea of a homosexual sexual interaction.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a depravity, there's like a, like men are just like hungry and like insatiable type of nonsense that's like sort of presented, especially when it comes to gay men. And I love that Jacob Tierney was like, from the very first hookup that you see them do, there is a level of tenderness that you start to pick up on. And that tenderness builds each time you see them continue to hook up with each other. And it changes. You see the dynamic of that relationship changing, and you learn so much more about these characters. So anyway, let's go ahead and start. Yes.
So sorry, so about that tenderness, right? And this is
Yeah.
where I'm realizing that, when you watch the show the way that I did, and I want to go back and watch the show again. I've only seen it once, because I'm not a crazy person. Is that as I was watching it and those sex scenes happen, and yes, there's obviously like there's a physical aspect of it, and it is, if you want to call it a hot sex scene between two men, whatever. Yes, there is, but like even within that sex scene, like the way that I was originally watching it, like my first instinct was just to forward it all, right? Like, remember you sent me like those timestamps or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can do that, like if you want to like forward, like you're not going to miss out on the story, but really you are. Like that's the thing that I realized, because even within those, like, let's say quote unquote explicit moments or whatever, there's conversation happening.
Yep.
And like that conversation leads to character development, and like you understand where these people are coming from and their perspectives a whole lot more, and it adds to your viewing experience. So if it's all there, it's all worth it. None of it is perverse, none of it is fetishizing. It's there for the story because the story demands it. So that's it.
Yeah.
All right, good
Okay,
episode.
Anyway,
My job here is done.
Episode 1 is called Rookies, and we meet the boys in 2008. They are, it's before their rookie season. It's at like a Prospects Cup. And it's, I guess, a game where we're basically establishing the scene, which is that these two are the best of the best. Ilya Rozanov and Shane Hollander are the best the league has. They're the most talked about rookies. And it's very obvious in the very first part of this episode where they are each other's like biggest competition, and they're also each other's biggest motivators. We also start to see the relationship they have of like where they're coming from, their parents. So like we have to remember that this episode 2008, they're supposed to be like 17, 18-year-old kids. And so their parents are still heavily involved. Like we see that Ilya's dad puts him down and Shane's parents prop him up. And they're both different kinds of control that parents have, but it's still a level of control that you see these kids essentially having around them when it comes to their hockey career. They have a bunch of run-ins. We get that the gym sequence where there's like, even the way they're riding their bikes, like it's happening because they're both so competitive with each other. But there's like a tenderness with Ilya giving him a water bottle. And you could just start to see like they've just been like eye fucking each other for all these years. And then it's after 2 full years, after the draft, after all of that, they hook up when horny Russian Ilya Rozanov propositions Shane in the shower after a photo shoot. And Shane is like, oh my God. But as Shane tells Ilya later, he does make him curious. And that's where their hookups start. In this episode, they hook up one more time during All-Star Weekend. They also start texting each other. And this is where we're introduced to like Jane and Lily, their little text code names to each other. And it's really sweet, but the episode ends at the end of the rookie season when they're in Vegas and Shane wins Rookie of the Year. Ilya is about to go back to Russia, and then they have like a little fight and an argument and a kiss, and that's where the episode ends. Let's talk a little bit about sports rivalries, because you had mentioned that there is something in this, like the very first episode you see like Ilya, he says that thing about like, they're like, oh, you said that you were going to score 50 goals. Ugh, God, Connor stories. He's like, a liar told you that. He's like, no, I'm going to score 50. Right. And like, just the way, like you could tell, like Ilya's watching Shane do all these interviews, perfect Shane do all these interviews. And Shane is watching Ilya be like a badass fucking athlete who is like not taking anyone's shit. And you see them sort of like start to obsess over each other in a way that goes beyond obviously like their sexual attraction to each other. But you were mentioning that there's like because you know all about sports rivalries. Talk to me a little bit about real life sports rivalries that you were thinking about when you were watching this episode.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Eczema is unpredictable, but you can flare less with Ebglyss, a once-monthly treatment for moderate to severe eczema. After an initial 4-month or longer dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
So the hockey comparison that you think about immediately is Sidney Crosby versus Alexander Ovechkin. And the reason is like when you look at their two profiles, right? Obviously, Alexander Ovechkin is this Russian guy. Sidney Crosby is this Canadian guy, and they came into the league essentially at the same time. Crosby plays for the Penguins, um, and Ovechkin plays for the Capitals, right? And they kind of like their personalities are the same also. So Ovechkin is like this. He's been known as like this brutish goal scorer. He is like
Yeah.
individually speaking, he is amazing. He's the all-time leading goal scorer because they've been in the league now for like 20 years. And Crosby has always been since like he was a kid. He was deemed like the next great one. So he was like he had pressure on him to be like the next Wayne Gretzky, essentially since he was like 10 years old. And
Wow.
he like in terms of being like a really great athlete and a really great role model and all those things, Sidney Crosby is a great one. He has fulfilled his potential as a hockey player, but he's also never gotten himself into any trouble. He's like a great person for sponsorships and all those things. So like those profiles absolutely match. But the other rivalry that I was thinking about was in the moment when I was, especially when I was watching like them race against each other in the gym, and then also seeing kind of like how they occupy each other's thoughts, right? And there's
Yeah.
like this moment, I think it's episode 2 when Ilya wins the cup.
Oh,
But
we have to. We can't talk about that right now because
okay,
I cannot wait to talk about that
okay, I'm
moment
sorry.
later. Yeah.
But like, you know, like seeing that, and again, like I think it's presented in a really like great, honest way. I started thinking about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Now, obviously, Larry
Hmm.
Bird and Magic Johnson are not, you know, in love with each other or whatever. But if you watch any of the stories, any of the documentaries about their rivalry, that part is so true about how much they occupied each other's thinking, like how
Hmm.
much they occupied each other's thoughts. Another comparison there is the first time Bird and Magic kind of went against each other was in college basketball. So
Hmm.
they were kind of primed to be these rivals before they came into the league.
Yeah.
The interesting thing when you watch their documentaries is like after they went through this career, right? After they went through this career where they were battling each other every single year and they were always compared to each other, whatever, is like at the end of the day, how much admiration they have for each other. Like
Yeah.
how much like just pure respect they have for each other as individual athletes. Magic Johnson at certain times in his career came out and said Larry Bird is the best player in the world. Larry Bird said the same thing about Magic Johnson. When Magic Johnson got diagnosed with AIDS, Larry Bird couldn't speak for a day. He was like,
Wow.
he called Magic Johnson and he was crying on the phone. And the night that it was announced, Larry Bird played a game, and kind of like in an homage to Magic Johnson, he threw like a behind the back pass, which was
No.
kind of more of a Magic Johnson trademark. So all this to say, like you know, obviously they're not two guys that are in love with each other, but again, it goes to the honesty of the show, of like
Yeah.
how true that part is like you can be a rival, but you can also admire somebody, and you can really, really respect them. And it does not make you any less. It does not make you a weakling or any of that stuff. And I love that the show doesn't make it like this stick almost like this, you know, like this plot point or like this sticking point, which it just says, yeah, these guys are rivals. They're both individually great. They're both individually, you know, very accomplished, but they also just live their lives. And you know, it's just the way that athletes really, really interact with each other.
And part of their living their life is just being in love with each other.
So
Ugh.
that
Okay.
and that's the thing, right? That's and that's where you go, okay, so like these are what I'm watching is a true representation of two class hockey players
Athletes.
that
Yeah.
are fucking rivals. The only thing that's different about this is that they have fallen in love with each other, or that they're you know, on in episode 1 that they're attracted to each other. And
Ugh.
you know, as a sports fan, you go, "Oh, wait, that's weird." But like as a human being, you go, "No, you fucking don't choose who you fall in love with, right?" Like that's the open-mindedness where like it helped me. It helped me go, "Oh, okay, like this is like just adjust the way that you're viewing
Ugh.
this thing." Because if you remember,
Exactly.
that was like the first episode where I watched, I mean, it was the first episode. I watched like halfway through. And then the sex scene started, and then I was like, oh, maybe I need to take a break. And then I
Yeah.
talked to you, and then you gave me almost like a pep talk, I want to say. And then I
All
went.
I said was, it's just a little fellation.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that's if you ever need me to run through a door for you, that's all you have to say to me. Hey, man, just a little fellation. And then I did, and I was like, oh, I'm just being an idiot. Let's fucking grow up here. Let's
Yeah,
go.
you're just a Neanderthal. Okay, what are your first impressions of Shane and Ilya in this episode? Do you like them? What do you think about these boys?
So obviously, like, Ilya is supposed to be an asshole or whatever, and Shane is supposed to be this nice guy, and then Ilya wins you over so fucking quickly. You just go, hey, man, like, you're so freaking charming, and then obviously, like, yes, like, you do realize, like, you can't not notice the physical aspects of it, right? He's a very charming and very attractive person. He's built like a fucking Greek god. Like,
Oh my God.
in every aspect, right? So you get drawn to Ilya right away because he is this very charismatic personality. And Shane isn't like that. Shane is low key. Shane is the nice guy or whatever. But, like, I'm sure we're going to talk about the actors more in detail, whatever. But it was in this first episode when Shane goes and he meets his parents. And it's like the first of many reaction shots of Hudson Williams that you see throughout the show. And that dude, I mean, they're both so talented, but that dude, like, the way that he can convey so much emotion without fucking saying anything is incredible. And so that's what I thought of Shane in the moment. I was like, oh, I completely get who this person is. Like, I get that he is this, like, you said his parents prop him up, and I want you to get into that because that's exactly right. That is, that's a cage of its own also, right? Like, they are very, very supportive of him. And so you can tell that puts pressure on him as a person to just be the best version of himself, right? And he does. Like, it's not, so that's what I thought. What were your thoughts?
I mean, I love them, obviously, right? So I did read the book, so I already knew where the transition was going to go with Ilya, but I was thinking a lot about, like, if you watch the show without knowing anything about where this is going, just the episode of, like, the All-Star game where it's, like, Europeans versus North Americans, right? And he's like, did you have fun? Did you get drunk? And he's like, well, I just, like, Shane's, like, so literal. He's like, I went to dinner, but, like, I didn't get drunk. And then Ilya just goes, he, like, blows a raspberry. Right. And then Shane does this thing where he's like, yeah, it was fun. He was like, Ilya's like, it was fun. No boring Americans, no boring Canadians. Right. And so Shane goes, yeah, just a bunch of Finnish guys talking about how much they love their cousins. And there's a spark that happens in Ilya's face. He's like, you cutie patootie, you funny little bitch. Like, I love you. And that's when he just, like, smirks, gets up, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go to bed early. And then he's like, 1, 2, 2, 1. All right. I love those moments where Ilya's like, oh my God, you're adorable. Like, even the first time they hook up, right? They're, like, making out by the door, and like Shane starts to, like, go down on him. And then Ilya's like, no, we're not doing it like this. So he, like, goes and lays down, and he's like, this isn't fair. You need to take your clothes off. So Shane takes his clothes off, and then he starts to fold his clothes and put them away.
So cute.
And Ilya's like, oh my God, you are so cute. Like, there's this moment where Ilya's like, he is the most adorable little baby boy I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's just so cute. You get these little moments of them, And that's the stuff that, like, you really start to go, like, Ilya's so cute. Or, like, when they hook up at the All-Star game and Ilya wants to have penetrative sex. And Shane starts to freak out. He's like, I've never done this before. I've got this, like, dildo at home. And Ilya's like, what color? Right? Like, he's just so silly with him. And then he's like, Shane's trying to talk about it. He's like, yeah, I guess, like, next time, whatever. And Ilya goes, Hollander, you're having a panic attack. Like, you need to relax. Like, it's not that serious. I'm not going to do anything to you right now. I understand Scott Hunter is next door. I'm going to make fun of you, but, like, it's fine. And then he's like, Hollander, you're so boring. And, like, puts his phone, like, it's just, I love that Ilya knows that, like, something about how brash he is and aggressive he is, it delights Shane. Like, Shane looks like a baby deer, but something about how Ilya is really makes Shane happy. Like he I think knows that Shane is like giggling and blushing, but also like throwing his phone away every time Ilya like sends him a text. You know, like I think that there's something really sweet there. But I think at the end of this episode, you learn so much about Ilya because he's like, oh, I have to go back to Russia after this, right? Like it's the end of this, the summer's here, I got to go back to Russia. And Shane's like, okay, sounds great. You're going home. And Ilya's like, you're so fucking stupid. Like there's like this, I think Ilya has this moment where he's like, this kid is so he's so sheltered. He has no idea what the world is. And I just like, I love that already in that first episode, we got to like know so much about them. I just, you know, of course it doesn't help. It does help that freaking Connor Stories is like an amazing actor and like his butt is insane. He looks like the statue of David come to life. Really it's insane. It's insane. Okay, let's go to episode 2. It's called Olympians. And yes.
Sorry, one more thing about it. Like talking about like, you know, Ilya's personality as, I guess even at that point he's you know, he's a bisexual man, right?
Yeah.
You know what you said about like him kind of understanding how Shane sees him, and then giving him reinforcement. Like that part is it's so subtle and so well done in that like, yes, Ilya is extremely comfortable with who he is. Like he understands who he is or whatever. At the same time, he also understands that like it's not carelessness. He is not careless with the world. He also, because of how he was raised and because of the fact that he's from Russia, like he knows when to be protective of himself and you know, whoever his partner is, right? So that part was really, really awesome to see that like when he is that brash and when he is that open with Shane, it's when it is a private moment for the two of them, right? And that just, it makes you really, really fall in love with both of them in their own way, you know? So
yeah. All right. Episode 2 is Olympians. And this happens over 2011 to 2014. So we're like 3 years into this relationship that they have. And they're just flirting and sexting and texting. It's mostly just Ilya sexting and Shane being like, oh my God, I don't know how to respond to this man. But after a Montreal-Boston game, they finally actually do the deed. And despite Ilya's very aggressive sex, it's actually really sweet. It's like a really sweet scene. I mean, Shane is down bad. He is down bad for this man. Who can blame him? He's dreaming of that damn Orthodox cross dangling over his face. But they, you know, the boys head to Russia for the Olympics. And this is where we realize, like, Shane's like, oh, Ilya is a whole other person. And we see Ilya's life in Russia and it basically sucks. But motivated by like the toxicity of being in Russia and like losing the Olympics, Ilya comes back to win the Stanley Cup in spring 2014. And we'll talk about that moment when he wins. But in the summer of 2014, they finally meet each other again. And essentially what this is showing is like they have sex in like 2014, like fall 2014. They go to Russia. He tells Shane like, we're nothing, get away from me, ignores his texts. And then it's summer 2014. They're finally seeing each other after like 9 months, we'll say 6 months, at this award show. And Shane in the bathroom is just such a sad boy. He's such a sad boy. He's so excited to see him. But it's like, if you've ever been in a situationship and you've been like excited to see the person that has been giving you all this attention, and then you're mad at them for ghosting you, but then you see them again and they give you like the tiniest bit of attention, you're like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. They have this like
rushing back.
It all comes rushing back. They have this, like, I would say they hook up again and it's their most toxic hookup. But the episode ends with Shane in the elevator figuring out what to text Ilya. And he's wants to type, we didn't even kiss. Ugh! That's crazy. Okay. I just want to say, I love a montage, okay? This texting relationship montage of them just like jogging and texting each other. It's so cute. It's so cute. It's adorable.
Because they're like giving each other shit in the middle of it. They're talking trash to each other. Oh.
Adorable. Okay, so Shane and Ilya, they meet up at Shane's apartment or a condo or whatever. I love that whole sequence when Ilya gets there. He's like, "You're going to murder me," and then he's like, Shane's like, "Get inside right now!" And then they do this thing where they like razz each other. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Sexting me before the game? Why would you do that?" And Ilya's like, "You were hard, weren't you?" Right? He's like, "What, the whole game? You were hard the whole game?" And Shane's like, "Shut the fuck up." And then they're like, do this thing that's like, this is where I love the show because they are just boys. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen straight men behave this way, and this is what I love. It's like the way they like run up the stairs, right? Like trying to like race up the stairs and being like, "I beat you." No, you didn't beat me. You barely beat me, right? But then like later on, they're gonna like have sex. Like it's just, it's honestly, it made me go, "Why aren't more men gay?" Because this is adorable.
I mean, you
This
don't
is
have
so
to be
cute.
gay. You don't have to be gay. And listen, this is the reason why Pete Hegseth and RFK Jr. want to put pull-up bars in airports. So you can just go and have a pull-up contest with your bros. No, that's all of it. Like all of that,
Yeah.
what you just said is exactly true. Like that is, and again, like that's where you see the honesty in this show because of how honestly they present these characters. Yes, these are two gay men. Yes, they're
Yeah.
athletes or whatever. But they're also like at this point, they're buddies. I would say they're like
Yeah.
boys. They have like their own inside. They have like obviously their own like the biggest inside joke that you can, right? And just to kind of see them kind of play off of that and then also like see that develop is it's really really fucking charming, man. It's so charming.
So charming.
And I don't know if at some point, like I'm sure we're gonna have to talk about it, but like what you told me about how this show was made, and I watched a video recently about like they'd apparently brought this show to like the big streamers in the US. So like I'm sure Netflix had a version that like they talked to Netflix. I'm sure they talked to Hulu or whatever. And sorry, what's his name? The Jacob
Tierney.
Jacob Tierney, the guy that made it, he decided to take it to a smaller streamer because he wanted to make the show that he wanted to make, right?
Yeah.
And what that meant for them was much smaller budget or whatever. But this goes to talk about like his proficiency as a creator and a director or whatever, because it does not feel small at all. Like,
Yeah.
like there are things that you could point to, right? Like the award ceremony or whatever. Like you can look at that award ceremony and go, well, they didn't show you like the whole hall so you can tell.
Yeah.
But what's important is like the banter between them at the award ceremony
Yeah.
is so accurate of like the ESPYs and all of that bullshit stuff.
Yes.
So you go, so like it, like the bigness of it doesn't matter. And it is maybe the best edited show I've ever seen.
Yes.
And like the music, and you told me about like the music drops or whatever. It's like there's like this complex story and this complex character. It's like comfort food. It's so easy to watch. It's so fun to watch. Like the laughs are there. Like it's not overwrought. It does. I mean, at the times that it has to be dramatic, it's dramatic or whatever. But it's like it's such a nice show to watch. You just want to keep watching it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's how you end up watching it 3 times. Okay. Just like their chemistry, also Hudson Williams and Connor Story's chemistry is off the freaking charts. That very first hookup, right? So they like running up the stairs. And he's like explaining to Shane. Shane's like, he's like, "Oh, this is such a nice place." And Shane's like, "Yeah, I bought this building and then I'm going to buy the one next door." And like, he's going into too much information. Like, that's what you do when you're like so nervous around a person that you like really just want to kiss. You're like, this is my table. And this is what, right? And I love Ilya. He goes, "Mr. Businessman, Mr. Real Estate." And like, he's just so cute. He's like, "Where will you have me?" And then Shane's like, "Let me take you upstairs." He's like, "Why does your bed look like that? Why do you have so many pillows? Did your mom pick this out for you?" Like, I think it's so cute. Like, it's just this like Shane wants to impress Ilya. We know this from their first hookup. He almost wore a suit the night that he was going to come to his hotel. Like, it's just so adorable. And then after they hook up, they're sitting there and they're still like making fun of each other. And like Ilya says this thing about like how he made him come or whatever. And Shane's like, "Your cab is here." But he's hugging Ilya's jacket.
Yeah.
And like he's looking at him so lovingly, and I'm like, oh my god, he just got dick down so hard. This man, he has no choice. He has no choice in the matter. He's cooked. Okay, he's done for. And then the fact that like you feel that, and then you go to the Olympics where he's like, Ilya is basically like, get the fuck away from me. Do not talk to me here.
Yeah.
I saw your boring text. Like, don't talk to me. Whatever. Like, for a person like Shane, who has at this point in his life accomplished everything that he's ever tried, like for him to be rejected like this by this person who he looks up to, but also is falling in love with, it sucks. Like, it's so sad. So then when they get to the awards in Vegas and they're having that conversation in the bathroom, and his big gay yearning eyes are just like, he's like,
yearning eyes.
oh my god, they're so beautiful. He's always got tears right at the edge of his eyes. Like, even that scene where like, because they have that interaction in Russia, and then Ilya wins the cup, and they have that zoom in of Hudson Williams' face while he's watching Ilya win, and he's got tears in his eyes, and he's like smirking, but also like his lip is quivering. I was like, oh my god, he is so good.
What'd you think about that reaction? Like, what did you glean like from his reaction? What do you think he was thinking?
Again, I had read the book, but so I kind of knew where, like, I'm sure the direction that like Hudson Williams was given, but it to me goes to this thing of like, I'm so proud of him and I'm so happy for him, but I'm also mad at him because like I want to be there. I want to celebrate this with him because I'm falling in love with him, but I can't say anything. I'm surrounded by people who think that I hate him. And I'm also just like, I'm jealous, but I'm also proud. Like, it's all of these complex feelings. You notice this, by the way, as we call them, rewatches are called reheats. When in a reheat, you notice this is when Ilya wins, he says something in Russian, and Russian speakers were like, they didn't subtitle it, but he says, "This is for you, mama," when he lifts.
Oh my god.
We all have that dream trip we've been wishing we could go on, but too often life, or usually price, gets in the way. That's why Priceline is here to help you turn your dream trip into reality. With up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights, you can book everything you need for your next adventure. Don't just dream about that next trip. Book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com and book your next trip today.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
With Venmo Stash, a taco in one hand and ordering a ride in the other means you're stacking cash back. Nice. Get up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on your favorite brands when you pay with your Venmo debit card. From takeout to rideshares, entertainment and more, pick a bundle with your go-tos and start earning cash back at those brands. Earn more cash when you do more with Stash. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
ABC's David Muir, the most trusted anchor in America, the most watched anchor in America. Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir the #1 newscast in America. Most trusted, most watched. David Muir on ABC.
And in the book, Shane is watching Ilya and he says, I wonder what his mother would think. Because also in the book, they've been Googling each other. So they know things about each other that the other person doesn't know that they know because they're actually obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
Adorable. Now, Raheel, I want to know what you thought about the Vegas scene because cinematically, it's beautiful.
The Vegas scene.
The hookup in Vegas.
I don't know what to say about it. Other than that was one of the first scenes where I was like, no, it's worth it to watch it all the way through.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth it to kind of hear the little things that are happening in between them. Right. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, man. Like, it was a beautiful scene. I think that both of their characters came out like the way that, you could really, really tell that Ilya is obviously the one that's more experienced in these matters and things like that. And that, I mean, I don't know. It was just, to me, it just felt like the first scene where like a casual hookup or what's meant to be a casual hookup is like obviously turning into something more, and like it's almost like they can't help themselves, and
Yeah.
it's charming and adorable and lovely, and that's you know.
So, okay, here's the thing about that Vegas scene that I think is really fun is that obviously it's like super sexual. The lighting is like done in a way it's like very like it's very like, I think it's like a scene that you would maybe see in a heterosexual situation with like a man and a woman where like the man is sitting in a chair and he's like telling her to do stuff to herself or whatever. But they start this where he tells Shane to lay in the bed or whatever. And then starting to get sexual. And then Ilya goes, "Do you want to know how it feels?" And Shane's like, What feels?" And he goes, "To hold the cup." Right? Like, and Shane is like, "Fuck you." And like, I realize that it's moments like that. That's the stuff that Shane loves. Like, Shane doesn't just love that he's like falling in love with this hot guy. It's like he's falling in love with this hot guy who gets the thing that he's obsessed with.
Yep.
1000%. Like,
Yep.
it's so funny. It's so cute. It's like these little moments. Also, I just want to say, Ilya Rozanov, consent king. Okay. Every time you see them hooking up, he's like, "Is this okay? Are you okay? Is this fine? Is this still good?" Like the first time that they have sex, he's like, "Do you still want?" And he's like, "Yes, I still want." Like it's so cute. But I'm like, yeah, he's this hyper masculine, and this is why like women love the show, because it's these hyper masculine situations. Is these two macho dudes that like, we've been told our whole lives like we have to spell shit out for men that are like, yeah, I'm obviously gonna check in to see if you're okay with this, and
Yep.
I just love that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually I forgot to mention. That's what stood out while watching. That is, those are the little moments that you realize. Okay, well, so this is obviously a very. I mean, it's obviously a very horny person, but he's also very caring
he's so
within that. Right?
caring.
He wants to make sure that he's bringing Shane along at the pace that he's comfortable with, because to him, like, it's only kind of worth it if Shane is there and in the moment as
Yes.
much as he is, which is just the fucking loveliest.
It's so lovely. It's so lovely. I also love when they are like have that texting montage. Ilya's teammate is like, "I don't know who this girl is who's got you blushing, Rozanov," or whatever, right? He's like
Russian.
never in my life do I blush. Russians don't do that. Like, I love him so much. Ilya Rozanov, god damn it. We also saw a peek into Ilya's life in Russia. Not great.
No,
Not
hey,
great.
apparently they're not great to the LGBTQ community in Russia, it turns out.
No.
Have you seen? I saw a news story that says Heated Rivalry, massive hit in Russia through VPNs, like, because obviously they can't show the show or whatever, but massive hit, because of course it is, because it's gay people everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know where I'm getting a ton of Heated Rivalry edits out of? India and Pakistan. Do you know how many videos I've seen? I can't wait to send them to you, of the clips of the show of them like yearning and like longingly looking at each other with Bollywood and Pakistani songs played over. Is we all love, okay? This isn't weird. Episode 3. Let's get into episode 3. Episode 3, we take a break from the boys. We're meeting Scott Hunter. It's called Hunter. We meet Skip, a smoothie barista / art student, and Scott Hunter, the captain of the New York Admirals. And Scott's a closeted cutie pie, and Kip is the hottest man I've ever seen in my life. And they hit it off, and we just get into, I think this episode, like, you really got into like the DL life, like that athletes are out there doing. And Scott says to Kip right in the beginning, he says, "I really like you. I want to do this seriously, but there are things that I'm not going to be able to give you. And I just want to like lay that out." So you obviously know a lot about DL athletes. There's quite a few of them. And you said that you believe that Scott Hunter is made after, allegedly, a particular player.
I do. And by the way, like, before I get into that, like, I just want to talk about like what it was like watching this episode, because obviously you're coming off of like these two really, really great episodes about these two guys that's just focused on these two guys, and it's like bringing up like it's like picking up speed and all those things, right? And then this episode starts, and my expectation was that we would go back to the boys, and it's not. But like this episode, again, it's one of those things where you go, "Oh, this is like a new peak for the show." Like this show is showing me aspects of this life of this community that I didn't think I was going to be getting in it.
Yeah.
And even within that, right? Like you have these expectations of like watching like an episode like this, and you know, you imagine how hard it is or whatever, and there are complications that come out of it. But the important thing is like the characters themselves seem so honest and so true. Like Scott Hunter has that breakdown at the art gallery or whatever,
Yeah.
and in my head, like just following like TV show tropes or whatever, it could be like this big dramatic falling out. It could be like, oh, this is where we walk away. But that's not what happens. Like they get back to the apartment and they talk about it, and he apologizes for it, and it's like, oh no, this is like a real reaction that this man had, and he knows that it was uncomfortable for his boyfriend, and he feels really bad about it, and his boyfriend understands. So like it's so nice to watch a show where you don't have to root against anybody. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like everybody on the show you're just rooting for. It's also the episode where we meet my favorite person in the world, and that is Kip's dad. Like you go, oh, like everyone in this show is just so lovely. So sorry. But yes, to me, as I was watching it, and obviously you want to be really, really careful with all of this stuff, alleged, blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
alleged, blah, I don't need to blah, 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 because it is talking about somebody that has come out and said that they are not gay, right?
Yeah.
So, somebody who is married now, although nobody has seen his wife, which is, you know, just fucking, I think it talks to about how fucking annoying a human being he is, more
Yeah.
so than anything else. He's just whatever. He's a piece of shit. But the obvious comparison to me was Aaron Rodgers. Now,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, about 13 years ago, there was this big story in like the gossip magazines and stuff like that. This is after Aaron Rodgers had won a Super Bowl. It was after Aaron Rodgers had become an MVP. He had a roommate, this
Yeah.
guy named Kevin something, Liv something. He
Mhm.
was like he was an ex Packers employee or whatever. And then they moved in together. And then he would be like Aaron Rodgers plus one at all of the events, right? Like at all of like the Packer events or whatever, he was always tagging along. And Aaron Rodgers introduced him as his roommate and a really, really close friend. And he talked about like he treats people like by how they treat his friend Kevin because he's not a famous person. He had like all of these really, really nice things to say about him. That story became a big deal because Kevin, and I'm sorry, I don't know his last name, at some point posted stuff on X that was talking about betrayal, that was talking
Oh.
about like, and so people very quickly made the connection about like, it was like, hey, this is about Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's what the story was, the story in the moment. And like, you know, all this stuff, like, I don't know how much you trust gossip, and I don't know
Mhm.
how much of this is just because like you want to like have
It's
a
my life's
salacious,
fuel.
yeah, I know. But like you at the same time, you want to be
Yeah.
super duper careful
Of
about it,
course.
right?
Of course.
Because
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
especially when it comes to this subject, because like it is a big deal. It is a big deal, whatever. And so it became a big story. And then Aaron Rodgers went on a radio show, and he said, "Yes, I know the rumors that are out there. No, all I can say is no, I'm not gay, and I really, really like women." Right, and that was,
Okay.
and for everybody, I think that was involved. I think for sports fans and sports radio hosts and all that stuff, that is exactly what they were looking for to move off of the subject. Right, that was enough for
Yeah.
them. I remember recalling in the moment, like just thinking what a big fucking deal it would be if it were true and if he were to came out. Like that would have been a monumental shift in how we view athletes and how we
Yeah.
view gay athletes. Right now, again, if he's not gay, he's not gay, right?
Yeah.
But even in his response in that moment when he was talking to those radio hosts, that was a fucking missed opportunity. Like he could have very easily said, I'm not gay, but what
If I
would
was.
Yeah, if I was, what difference would it make, right?
Yeah.
Instead, he had like a childish response about talking about how he really, really liked girls. Like that's what he said as a 30-year-old man. And so when I watched this episode, and
Sorry,
obviously,
you said girls, and all I could think about was Ilya saying, "I like girls."
but when I was watching this episode, first of all, Scott Hunter looks exactly like if I were to cast somebody to look like an Aaron Rodgers, that's exactly what I would cast somebody. He looks resembles him a lot.
Yeah.
And then also like kind of when you look at what his standing is in the sport, like Scott Hunter is a known commodity. He is already a legend. Aaron Rodgers was like that in 2012. That is where I mean he's fallen off now, obviously, but like at his highest moments, that's exactly who he was. And like his like for him to come out, like if he were gay again, you just want to be careful. It would have been huge. It would have made a big difference. So that's who I thought about. Yeah.
Yeah. I well, thank you for that. Are there any bisexual players in football? I feel like there is, but I think they're former athletes. I think there's RK Russell, Ryan Russell. He was a defensive lineman, and I think he played for the Cowboys, Buccaneers, and Bills. But he came out in like 2019. But I think it was after. I think players come out after they retire.
Michael Sam was a really big one. Michael Sam was the player who had before his draft. He'd come out of the closet, and his, when he got drafted, he kissed his boyfriend, and the entire sports world had a reaction to that, right? Like it was just like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And then he didn't make the team, and he never played professional football, I don't think.
Yeah, I just looked it up. I mean, the Westboro Baptist losers were out there protesting when he played for UMass. So, it's just like I love this show also because I think the thing that people often think is that if you're gay, then it takes away some level of your athleticism or your focus or whatever. And it turns out all these players play better when they're getting to be gay with the person that they love. Love Kip's dad. Kip's dad, emotionally available, sweetie pie dad. The scene where Kip comes home after like the argument with Sky after the gala or whatever, where Scott's like, Kip's like, I can't do this. Like, I have to go home. My family is wondering where I am. Like, I can't just like live in hiding with you. And he comes home and he just like gets into his dad just like looks at him and just like hugs him. I was like, there's like, we like as a parent, I think often about how I need to support my kids in the life that they live. And that this was like a beautiful example of the most sweet, loving, most tender daddy that anybody could ever have. He was just so sweet. He was so sweet. He was like, okay, I love you, like all the time, just like there to support his son in whatever way he needs, but also not overbearing in any way. Right. Like,
I love their phone call when he calls Kip when he hasn't seen him in a really long time, because he it's almost like he lodges his complaint about the fact that he hasn't seen his son, but he does it in such a sweet manner where he's just like, hey, like I want you to check in more with me, right?
Yeah.
But like I'm also not gonna be overbearing. All I want to know is that you're okay. And and so like when Kip turns to his dad in that moment, it's because he's got a lifetime of being supported and loved by this person. It's so fucking lovely. God damn it.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet. My favorite line of this episode is when Elena is dancing with Scott and she says, nobody, like, this is miserable for both of you. And she says, Kip deserves sunshine. And so do you. Just like saying that, I get full body goosebumps. What the fuck?
And then the way comes back. My favorite cute little scene from this is when Kip and the other barista, they're just like, girl.
It's so good. All right. There was like a moment where we got Ilya and Shane in this episode also, where like Ilya wins a game and his teammates are going in and he's like, good job, I love you. Good job, I love you. Good job, I love you. Wait, by the way, in episode 2, before Ilya wins the cup, he does this like crazy pre-game speech. What did you think about that locker room speech that Ilya did?
Which one was it? I think I loved all of the locker room speeches. Was it the one where he was like, "The rumors are true," like the
No,
$1,000?
that's episode 5. But in episode 2, that's the one where he's like, fuck San Francisco, we are going to win. Like does that like pre-game speech,
Yeah.
and he's like so ramped up. And I was like, see, again, like this is a sweet tender. We just watched in the beginning of this episode this man have sex with another man and the whole time be like, are you good? Is everything good? Like lovingly kiss this man and then also go into the locker room and be like, we are gonna fuck this other team up and we're gonna like, I love that. I love it so much.
Again, I think what it made me think was like both of those moments are so honest because like this is a new thing that's been popping up on like in like NFL fandoms or whatever, or like the sports teams now, like the teams themselves, they always like after a team wins or loses, they show like scenes from the locker room or whatever, and it's 100% that it is 100% men talking about like we're gonna fuck them up and we're bad, and it's just and it's so dumb and so childish or whatever, and then you watch it and you go, I'll run through a fucking wall for you, of course I will. Like it's effective.
It's so good. All right, episode 4 is called Rose. We're now in 2016, so we're assuming I think from 2014 to 2016, and we get a montage that they've been hooking up. They text each other, they hook up between games. And, you know, as Ilya says later, we meet, we F, it's simple, right? But it's not simple. Things get complicated when Ilya gets too cute and makes Shane a tuna melt and calls him by his name. And Shane freaks the fuck out and says, all right, let me try dating a woman. And he gets a girlfriend, an actress named Rose Landry. And the episode ends on one of the greatest needle drops, in my opinion. Ilya and Shane seeing each other at the club. I told you, I was like, that club scene changed me as a person. But we'll get into this. Okay, let's talk about the way, texting.
It doesn't end with a needle drop. Something else is dropping at the end of that episode.
Hello, staring into my eyes. I was like, why are you looking at me? Don't look at me. I know what you look like when you stroke it. I saw it in episode 1. Oh no. Okay, the texting montage, the texting and hooking up montage. They're like jogging and hooking up and checking in on each other and talking about the game. There's Shane in this duration wins the Stanley Cup twice. Yeah. And the second time he wins, there's that scene. It's like it's just like the way the show is made is so cool. It's like a slow-mo, and it's like Shane and his like, you know, his Under Armour, and they're like champagne all around him in the locker room, and he's texting with Ilya, and Ilya's like lucky, and then he says the luckiest. It's just like he won the thing. Like and even like catching Ilya the first time he wins, he's like, oh, it should have been me, right? Yeah. But then the second time Shane wins, Ilya's looking at him, like watching him with this like, again, it's like this deep admiration and appreciation that they have for each other. But like Shane just won the cup and he's texting Ilya. Like, guys, they're so in love.
No, so I yes, obviously I think that it is because they are so in love with each other. But like realistically, there is nobody in the world as two athletes that understands what Shane is going through more than Ilya. Like those are, you know, there's nobody else. Like they're both number one. Like you could make an argument for either one of them. And so nobody else understands like the pressure of being that big and then also delivering on that thing, right? So that's who else are you gonna fucking talk to, right? Like Ilya is closer to like he can share that moment with Ilya more than he can with his own teammates, because you know his own teammates don't fill the same position in the team that like Ilya does. So again,
adorable. So the tuna melt hookup. We got to talk about that hookup. Okay. Ilya goes over. It's just so cute. Again, Ilya's like texting Shane, like, just come over. He's like, all right. The scene like where Ilya's walking, because again, I've seen bits and pieces so many times. When Shane gets to his door, Ilya's like brushing his hair back. Like he's getting ready for his man. And then he shows up and they hook up. And then Shane's like, all right, let me get out of here. And Ilya's like, no, stay. Like, let me take care of you, basically. And then before he makes, when the sandwich is being made, right? He's like, I got this man a sandwich. I know he loves a ginger ale. I got him a cold ginger ale. And then they're sitting on the couch. Like, they've just hooked up, I'm assuming, at least 3 times. Yeah. They're sitting on the couch, opposite sides of the couch. I was like, this is... men are so stupid. Okay. Just like 2 bros sitting on the couch, like, we're definitely not gay. Like, it's fine. We're just waiting for my sandwich. But on the couch, Ilya's having this conversation, and that's when Ilya's like, I like girls. And he's like, you like girls? Have you ever been with a girl? And Shane's like, yeah. Like, look at me. Don't I love women? Hello, boobs. Yeah. Honk, honk. Love that. And like, Ilya's like, he tells him about Svetlana, and he says, it's good to have a woman around. Yeah. And I think what Ilya's trying to say to Shane is like, this is great, but like, you need to start protecting yourself a little bit.
Exactly.
Right? And that's when he makes him a sandwich. And then Ilya gets a phone call from Russia, and we start to get these glimpses of like, things are not well in Russia. We had already picked up that his father's not doing well or whatever.
Yeah.
But before he gets a phone call, and Ilya's talking about like a woman or whatever, he's like, Shane says something like, oh, like, she's the only woman that you could find that would like want to fuck you. And Ilya's like, no, I'm sure I could find any woman, but you know me, I'm lazy. And Shane says, I don't know that side of you at all. And again, this is from my reheats. The very first time we meet Ilya and his dad tells him the day of the draft, he can be a little lazy.
Yeah.
And like, cut to episode 4 where Shane is like, I don't think that you're a lazy person at all. I've literally never known that side of you. Yeah. And then he gets that phone call, gets up, takes a phone call, comes back. And Shane's like, how's your dad? And he's like, oh, what, you speak Russian now? And he's like, no, I like know what the word dad is. Like, I just want to, and I could just, in that moment, Ilya's like so touched. Cause like, Ilya's way of showing love is like, I made you a sandwich and I sucked your dick. Right. Like, that's him. Yeah. But like, Shane saying like, how's your dad and you're not lazy, that's like Ilya's love language. That's where Ilya goes like, whoa, this is like, this guy is adorable. Like, I think he's so cute. And then they hook up on the couch, and Ilya for the first time calls him by his name mid hookup, because they've been calling each other Hollander and Rosenoff this whole time.
Yeah.
And it freaks Shane out. And Shane's like, I can't do this. I can't stay. And the way Ilya looks at him, and he's like, Hollander, like, come on.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, you know what's happening here, like, don't overcomplicate it. What are you trying to do? And like, Shane just runs out of there. I was like, I've heard Hudson Williams talk about that scene, and he's like, I had to do that scene so many times, like, as actors, they do. Mm-hmm. He's like, every time I did it, I felt sick to my stomach, because it's such a horrible thing that's happening in that moment. Like, it's just so sad. Like, it's so sad. And it's like, they're denying each other of this like beautiful thing that they both could have. Yeah. But he's like, it's so gross. He just like leaves him hanging in more ways than one, It's just like, I hate that scene. It makes me so sad. I'm like, why would you do that, Shane? Why would you leave? But I get it,
So I didn't think that, why would you do that, Shane? Why did you leave? Because of how good Hudson Williams is in that scene. Yeah. Like, you can, like, his fear registers so well, like and it doesn't at all feel manufactured. It doesn't, like, it's like, yes, this is a person that is, he doesn't know, like, he's like, Ilya, right? That has like, he has like this safety net of like women in his life, right? And I am out here, I'm just like, am I ready to just be a gay person? And he's, what does it mean? Like, if because this is after, like, when they talk in Vegas and all that stuff, right? Like, he's talked about how it's difficult for him or whatever. So I understood why he freaked out. I obviously wasn't happy that he was freaking out, because I just want them to be happy. I would just also just say, because I just want, like, Ilya's relationship with Svetlana, that is like my goal in life. If you can get like a hot lady like that just to have sex with you from time to time, and also keep all of your secrets,
ladies, line up. Look at this guy. He's willing to give you nothing.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. And also like Svetlana, he loves Svetlana because like she's another one who can talk to him about hockey. He's like, yeah, she loves hockey.
So that
She's hot.
scene with Svetlana talking about like the playoff implications and like who's going to advance or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like the matter of factness with which she spoke about it, and it's like that's what like it's like a very annoying trait of sports fans is like you want to be the one that has all of the information, you want to be the one that knows all of like the scenarios and stuff like that, right? So like seeing her talk about it that way, you go, yeah, she's just a really genuine sports fan. That's how sports fans talk.
Yeah.
So good.
Now he meets Rose Landry.
Ooh.
Shane. He's
Yes.
like, and Shane also is like, oh, sports girl. She likes sports. She's pretty. I like her movies. Yeah, let's do it. Like, yeah, I could do this. This is great. Like, I could make this work, you know? And he starts to date this girl. They go to the club, and Ilya goes to the club because he's like, I'm fucking pissed. This man is hooking up with a woman. All right. And they go to the club, and you hear I was like, oh, when I watched that scene, Raheel, I was like, because I didn't tell you. I did not tell. I said the club scene is amazing. What did you feel when you heard Tattoo?
So I have not heard that song in like 22 years or whatever since it came out. And I guess this is a remix, right? This is like a different version.
Well, there was the Tattoo, and then there was it slowed down when they saw each other.
All the things you said, all the things you said. It was amazing. Like it was so much fun, and it was so like exciting. It's like, you know what I mean? It's weird to say. It's like to say a scene like that is exciting, but that's exactly what it was. It was like the way that it built up or whatever, and the way that it was edited. And then I was like, you know, if you know about Tattoo, and you know that, you know, obviously that they were lesbians, right?
Russian lesbians,
and you understand kind of like the significance of that. Obviously it makes sense because there's a Russian character in this, and he's gay or whatever. But like when you think about artists like them and like Pussy Riot and stuff like that come out during a regime, and that's what the episode's about also, is like how hard it is to be gay in a place. Or that's the one where is that the one where he meets with like the ex his ex in Russia?
That's episode. No, that happens in the Olympic episode. But I mean, this is all coming out of that. Yeah.
But yes, but so you feel that, and then like that's the best version of that song I've ever heard. It's
so good. My kids are obsessed with both versions because they started listening to it. It's our hype song in the morning when we go to school. I'm like, all the things you said, all the things. It's so good. Also, the scene where Ilya's at the bar and he realizes, because he sees Rose's friend, he sees him, and then the camera pans around Connor's story, and you see him like turn around and look at the club and look for Shane. The music goes, that bridge part of the song, like it's so good. It's just so good. And then when they see each other and the music drops and it changes to the Harrison version of that song, I was like, this is absurd. Like, this is so freaking good. Jacob Tierney, you're a freaking genius. Like, it's so good. And then like the way it ends, where like Shane's hooking up with Rose and Ilya's by himself, and like the way that the camera shoots to like their faces, it's crazy. Amazing.
It is a close-up of cum shots. That's all.
Now, a close-up of one's face, not of the actual cum shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's implied. What did you think of Rose?
I thought it was so sweet. Like, I feel like she's great. I love her. Let's get in episode 5 because that's really where I loved her. So
hold on. Yeah. The first time they meet, is that when she talks to him about what it was like growing up Asian in
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is like really the only other side. So very first time we hear about Shane being Asian is when he's drafted, and the Montreal Metro's owner is like, yeah, this is a huge deal. We're really excited. He's Asian. First Canadian Asian. And then it's this episode where Rose talks about him being Asian, and he's like, well, I got to hide behind having a non-Asian name, and other kids got made fun of more, and that was kind of it. Like, you realize again, Shane has at this point lived a very comfortable life. Even the things that he's had that are different have been taken care of in a way because somebody else had it worse than him. So
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like, I've not had to deal with that because I figured a way out. Like I
Yep.
figured out a way to not have this be a thing that I need to worry about, which also later on, like as he comes to term in episode 5 with being gay, he's like, I have to figure this out. Like
Yep.
this is not a thing that I can navigate, in any way. But okay, episode 5 is called I'll Believe in Anything. And Raheel, this is one of my favorite episodes of television of all time.
I would have to agree with you. It's a perfect episode of TV. It's just perfect.
It's so good. It's like, I think episode 5 is something that you deserve if you can get through episode. Oh, your camera's off. Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
Episode 5 is something that you get to have if you
Mhm.
can get through episodes 1, 2, and 3, because 1, 2, and 3 are very heavy on the gay intimacy, and episode 5 is like that's the warm love that Hudson William is talking about, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
We're in 2017. Okay. Shane's still with Rose, and Rose Landry essentially helps him come out. And
She's supposed to be like Jennifer Lawrence, right?
she is, because later when you see her getting her
Mystique.
makeup done,
Yeah.
she's Mystique. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
from the X Squad movies. Hello. But she helps him come out, and it makes Shane the most sure version of himself that we've seen the entire TV show. He goes to the All-Star game. He's got a new wardrobe, a new lease on life. And the boys are downright adorable this episode. They are so cute during the All-Star weekend. We have a very long overdue, because if you think about it, since 2017, it's been 9 years since they've known each other. A long overdue, extremely vulnerable conversation, which leads to a few weeks of them both being just the absolute best versions of themselves, until, Ilya's father passes away, which forces him to have to come to terms with his own identity and his life in Russia and what Russia and his family mean to him. And then he has this insanely moving call with Shane while he's in Russia. The boys come back. They're having happy times until Shane is injured and out for the season. And out for the season means that he's not playing. There's no way for them to meet up with each other and do any hookups. But the episode ends with an incredible sports moment. It's Scott Hunter. He wins the Stanley Cup, and he kisses his beautiful barista boyfriend, Kip, on the ice in front of everyone. And Ilya tells Shane, I'm coming to the cottage. You and I have talked about Fever Pitch before.
Yes.
Which is like one of the most fun rom-com sports movies. It's with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. It's such a good movie. Right, Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. It's so fun. It just happened to coincide at a time when the Red Sox finally won the World Series, which is like absolutely insane. It was like the curse was lifted and all of that stuff. It was so good. It's such a good movie. It's such a fun time. And like, I think the best part of a sports movie, like if it's like Rudy or any of it, like the best part of being a sports fan is when your team wins. And so like this show so far, we've been seeing these different teams, right? Like Scott and Kip are a team, and Ilya and Shane are a team. And you see Scott and Kip win. And at this point it's 2017. So you're presumably like now Scott and Kip have been together for like 4 years, living DL, which sucks. And it was okay. I know that you said that it was spoiled for you, but seeing that moment, I want you to talk to me about the ending and all the feelings that you felt.
When I was saying that, it was spoiled for me. It's just a little bit, and I'll tell you what happened there. What happened is, like, because I've been talking about the show, and obviously I've been watching it, whatever. The algorithm screwed me, and I saw a YouTube short, just like a screen grab of Scott and Kip on the ice. So I figured that that's kind of what was happening, right? But like, it in no way like lessens the experience of watching the actual thing, right? I texted you right afterwards saying, hey, this is like one of the greatest sports movie moments of all time, right?
Yes.
And there's a few factors that go into it, but I think number one is like even being a sports fan and like talking about like what does that mean? What is a sports movie moment? Essentially, you are rooting for the success of somebody else, right? Somebody else that you
Yeah.
are rooting for. And so yeah, you see Scott Hunter be successful at his sport. You get to see him like reach the mountaintop, and like when and in the show he is like this star who has never won. So like him winning is like this big deal. And like when that happens in like real life, like when like a veteran star wins, it becomes a big deal and a lot of people are rooting for him or whatever. So yes, that you're just naturally rooting for that person. But really, like when you think about like rooting for somebody's success and rooting for all the good things, like there's no more like complete version of that than seeing somebody be honest and not honest, like seeing somebody get to live their honest life, seeing somebody get to live their truth. And the soundtrack, which got in the moment, I was like all caught up in it. And then the next day, I was like listening to it at the gym, and I was like, the song sings summer, or no, it's sunshine. The song sings sunshine, and she told him sunshine.
I'll be sunshine. Da, 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 da. Like it's so good.
And so I'm watching it and I'm experiencing, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy for Scott Hunter. I'm so happy for Kip and all that stuff, right? The reason why it's like the greatest sports movie moment, or one of the greatest sports movie moments for me, is because of the editing at the end. Like it just cuts off and it's just so much suspense and you go, what the fuck just happened? And it's just, and you're just happy. Like it's just, oh, he's coming to the cottage. I want to see him at the cottage.
I want to see him at the cottage. Oh,
it's
God.
so well done. So
like the way the camera goes around like
when like the one
faces,
camera, when they're watching it,
and they're watching, and Hudson Williams' face, like his mouth is open, and Ilias, he's like, what the fuck is happening?
And like as they're like catching on to what's happening, because they like see this fan coming in, obviously he's a very attractive man. You see them kind of put two and two together, and they're like, wait, what the fuck, what's going on?
Oh my God, it's so good.
And it's like for Ilya, just watching, like I've seen that scene many times since then on YouTube, just that because I just love watching it. But like watching him,
this is how you end up watching certain scenes 20 times.
Like watching Ilya kind of taking that information, like seeing that happen, and then determinedly like say, I'm making a move right now. Like just watching that growth happen. It's so awesome. It's so freaking rewarding.
It's so good. And this is what I mean. Like that episode 5 is such a beautiful episode. If you are comfortable enough with homosexual relationships to get through episodes 1 to 3. Yep. And that's the thing. Like you don't deserve to have episode 5 and 6 of gay people if you can't get okay with the fact that 1, 2, and 3 need to happen in order for you to like get there,
Yep.
Okay, let's go to the start of the episode. Shane comes out to Rose. Love the scene. Rose is amazing. She's so fucking sweet. She's like, it's okay, like it's fine. And just like when she says, have you ever been with a man? And he just nods, and she's like, is it better? And he's like, and it just Shane.
Hudson Williams in that scene is, I can't even, because he's like, and again, like you're going into like TV show tropes or whatever, right? You think that he's gonna say no, or he's gonna like he's gonna walk out or whatever it's gonna be like, and just to watch like the way that he conveys like, hey, I feel safe with this person, and I want to be honest with that person, but at the same time, like as he's answering her, it's like he's a little kid, and he's just like, and he's like, it's almost like he's coming clean about something and he's nervous about it, but like her warmth in the moment like allows him, and he's like allows him to be more honest and just be upfront with her, and to see him be rewarded for that, it's just, oh my God.
It's so cute. She's
So
like, you know,
good.
it's like she's like, we're fine, we're friends, but like it's like a square peg in a round hole. And then he goes, I kind of want to be the peg. Or he goes, I know, it goes, I want to be the hole or
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, and then he's like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I've never said that. But that's the thing, like that is why it's important to be a safe space for people
Yep.
who are closeted, because they're that like, and you see Shane change, right? Like he goes to then the All-Star weekend and he is
Zip
feeling
zapping.
himself. He
Yeah.
is zip zapping. He's got that wardrobe.
That's
And Ilya's like, yeah,
where they're teammates, right? For the first time.
yes. The first time they get to be teammates, they have that conversation by the bar. He's like, oh, you got tired of looking like shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Rose Landry's not here. And he's like, we're not compatible, you know? And like, there's a scene on that when they're at that, staying at that in Florida together, where Shane is sitting by the pool and Ilya Rozanov, you charming bastard, is with the kids.
Oh.
Okay, I love this scene because women have this feeling a lot. Like every time, you know my husband, he's a great guy. There's 2 times in my life where I was like, that's the man, that's my man, I'm gonna marry him. The first time I saw my husband interact with elderly people, and the first time I saw him interact with children, I was like, oh no, that's gonna be my baby's father one day, right? Like, so he's watching Shane as watching Ilya just play with kids and be like, who's your dad? Get him out of the pool. Like, no cheating, right? Like, he's like, Hollander, give me $20. I don't have any cash on me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so cute. Like, Shane is looking at him like, damn, I get to be with that guy. Like, that's my man. It's so cute. And when, like, Ilya does this thing where I'm like, Ilya, you sneaky bitch. Because at this point, Ilya's like, not quite sure what's going on with him and Rose Landry, right? He just knows that she's not there. But then he pops out of the pool. He's drenched. Greek god. Just like splashing his water all over Shane. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he knew what he was doing to me too. No, that's the thing. You can tell. And that's, like you said, that's the reason why episodes 1 through 4 are the way that they are, because like that's your reward at the end of it. Like, you get to watch 2 people just be open and honest and like the cutest versions of themselves. And I don't know, like, I don't know if you like watching rom-coms, if you like watching people fall in love, if you like watching all
I
that
do.
stuff. Like, I know all of us do, right? And you get to watch that, and it's lovely and beautiful.
Can I make a comparison to a movie that we love?
Sure.
That, like, very few of our listeners are going to get this. It's only our brown listeners. But you remember the first time you watched DDLJ, right? Dil Vale Dulhania Le Jayenge. In the first half of that movie, Shah Rukh Khan is an asshole. The lead character, the man, is like kind of a dick. He teases her a lot. And about halfway through the movie, you start to see that there's some sort of connection between them. And then the second half of the movie is where, like, you see the tenderness and kindness come out of him. That is, like, I had a very similar experience to watching this, because I was like, Ilya's an asshole, but he loves that man. He loves that man. He loves Shane so much. And, like, seeing that play out in episode 5 then, when he finds him on the beach and he's like, found you, right? Like, they have that conversation when Shane goes to his room and Shane gets to tell him about his feelings, right? It's like, it reminded me of, remember in DDLJ when she's like, run away with me, right? Like, take me out of here. Or like, I can't get engaged because, you know, everybody's going to know that I'm with whatever, Guljit. And he's like, oh yeah, so what do you want me to do? Go in front of everybody, in front of your whole family and do this thing, right? Like, so it almost gave me that similar feeling when Shane is like, Ilya, I think I'm gay. And Shane is like, or Ilya's like, yeah, what gave you that idea? Like, right? And he's like, no, like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, the last time we were together, I'm really sorry, but you know that it's different. You know that it's not just as simple as we meet up, we hook up, and that's it. And Ilya's sitting there and he's like, you don't like me. You don't want to like me. And he's like, no, like, I do like you. And I think that that's the problem. I like you a lot more than, like, I thought that I would. And, you know, and like, he's like trying to get Ilya to explain to him, like, what is Ilya thinking? And Ilya talks about like going back to Russia. His dad is dying. His brother is terrible. His mom is dead. Like all of those things that they like finally are opening up to each other. You know, at the end of the day, these are just two emotionally unavailable men who just needed to have a deep conversation with each other, and they refused to do it. Instead, they're chasing each other upstairs. And just talk about your damn feelings, okay? But like, I love this because he's like, oh, like, what's wrong with going to Russia? You know, and he's like, so he's like, oh, like you can't come out because of your family. And he's like, no, it's because of Russia. Like
Yeah.
that life that I have, you know. And he starts to cry. And then the way Shane, this is again a reheat moment. The last time they were together,
I knew. Well, listen, I caught this in the moment.
Shane was on his lap, and
yeah.
he left him hanging in the middle after a hookup. And this moment, he gets back into Ilya's lap, and he's straddling him and hugging him. And as Ilya's crying, I was like, "Oh my god, I love them so much."
So when I think when we spoke about the show, like this, I just seen episode 5. That is a moment that I thought of. Like it was like, oh, okay, so like the more explicit stuff is at the beginning of this, because like what happens in that moment, like the fact that they're comforting each other and they're so intimate, so that it absolutely lands for you. So you're not thinking about the fact that it is two men that are, that one man is sitting on top of another, right? You're just thinking about Shane and Ilya. They're just two characters, just two people that love each other, and in that moment they are just there for each other, and it's so nice and so lovely, and I don't know what else to say. It's just
Yeah. And then they play amazing in the All-Star game together. The chemistry on the ice is fire. Ilya kisses him. Oh God, it's so sweet. And then, a few weeks later they hook up again. I love that scene because he's like, come on, like come over. You have an hour. And he's like, this is a bad idea. Like Shane's like, this is a bad idea to Ilya. But as he's texting him, this is a bad idea, Shane is putting his clothes and shoes on to like make his way to Ilya's house, you know? But he gets there, like even the way they're like bantering with each other, Shane is like, just so you know, we're going to beat you. Like, it's just so cute. They're just like in such a good place. That's when Ilya does the speech in the locker room of like like the news is whatever, the rumors are true. Yeah, you all owe me $1,000 for each goal, I just think it's so cute. But then Ilya finds out that his father's passed away, and he goes to Russia. Again, Ilya Rozanov is so fucking funny because Shane doesn't know where he is, and so he calls his phone and he's like, hello, this is Ilya. I'm not going to listen to your voicemail or something like that. Like, it's just so cute. But, he's in Russia. Ilya's in Russia, and he has to like come to terms with his family. He has this like really heated conversation with his brother. And Svetlana finally says, like, whoever Jane is, I hope that he makes you really happy. I hope he knows that he deserves you or you deserve him. Like, it's such a sweet moment. But there's a couple of that phone call that Ilya makes to Shane where Shane says, like, I wish that you could why don't you just talk to me in Russian? Oh. Let's talk about the acting here, okay? Connor Story, Texan white man, not a drop of Russian blood in him. Incredible. Amazing acting.
I don't, like, the acting is amazing, although, across the show or whatever. But just that moment, first of all, it's so smart. Like the show is so smart to even like put that thing together, and like it made me fall so much more in love with Shane, because Shane's just like, hey man, like you just need to get some stuff off of your chest. It's okay if you don't want to talk to me about it in English, but like you should vocalize it, right?
Yeah.
And I think Ilya's a little bit hesitant before he starts, and then he goes into it, and it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like, people should watch the show, FYI. Like, it's amazing.
Svetlana is great. I love her, but not like I love you. And then I've always loved you, and I'm so in love with you that I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, Ilya Rozanov, the man that you are. Ugh. Also, when they do like the sexy FaceTime, he's like, you wear glasses? It's like, He's like, take off your shirt, put your glasses back on. It's like the multi-layers, you know, of Ilya. And then after Shane gets hurt, when Shane is like, again, Hudson Williams acting, or he's like, tell him he's going to be worried. And they're like, who's going to be worried? Your dad. He's like, Ilya. And then when Ilya visits him in the hospital and Shane invites him to the cottage. So cute. Drugged up. Will you come to the cottage with me? It was just so cute. Like, people have described that moment as like joyful. Like, it's like the moment that you see like Shane being completely no like reservation because he's so drugged up. He's all of the things that he wants to say to Ilya because he doesn't usually get to. And I loved it because in that same episode, Ilya got to say all the things that he wanted to say to Shane. Because he said it in Russian, right? And so Shane, drugged up, gets to say to Ilya, like, just come, don't go to Russia, come to the cottage. It'll just be me and you. It'll be totally private. Like, it'll just be me and you. You'll love it so much. Like, they're actually saying what they want to each other for the first time.
It's lovely.
Men, if you're listening, just say what you're feeling, okay? It always is better, okay?
I'm right here.
Whatever, I don't care about your feelings. Anyway, we go to episode 6, The Cottage. And this episode starts with Scott's speech about coming out, which is really lovely. We'll talk about that. And then the boys have their dreamy 2 weeks at the cottage. They're just two dudes living their best life. They're boning. They're eating burgers. They're swimming. They're playing video games. They're blowing each other. They're sharing secrets. They're saying, I love you. Everything is perfect until Shane's dad catches them. I would love to know as a viewer what you thought was going to happen there. So I'll pause there on the episode recap. What did you think was going to happen when David Hollander, shows up?
The dad from Nip Tuck.
Dad from Nip Tuck!
At this point, what I was hoping was that the show would remain true to itself, and that Shane's parents would be reasonable, because that's what I want. I just want people to be happy, right? And yes, there's a shock to it, and obviously, like, it would be like walking in on Larry Bird and Magic Johnson making out with each other, right? Like, of course you get shocked. Hey, wait, what's going on, right? And so that's what I saw, and I saw, after that, his all of Shane's like anxiety or whatever. But what I was hoping would happen with that was that, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like, his parents, everyone in this show seems to be like a nice person for the most part, right? And so we go, well, Shane's a pretty nice person and his parents seem pretty nice. And yes, there's like this, they have like these moments of tension between us, but like, even in those moments, like, they are always trying to find ways to like make space for him. And he has like a really good dynamic with them. So I was like, man, like, I really hope it doesn't affect his relationship with his parents, because like, that's what I want.
And then guess what? It didn't. Okay. Because Shane's parents are amazing. Okay. Everybody is being super cute and super vulnerable and loving. And unlike many shows about marginalized people or queer people, this one ends in joy, which is why I think the show is like being binge watched over and over again. Why people are making edits with Bollywood songs on it, because we're living in a very miserable time. And it feels really good. It feels also good as like a consumer of popular television. We've watched The Red Wedding. Like, we've watched a lot of really traumatic, sad stuff. And like, I can't even watch Game of Thrones and enjoy, like, even House of Dragons, enjoy a moment of joy between two people together, because I know that this is going to end in somebody getting eaten by a dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's going to get eaten by a fucking dragon. You know what I mean? Like, we're so used to the other shoe constantly dropping that we don't get to live in the happiness of a moment. And that's what I loved about the show and the way that this ended, is that we just got to live in that. Like, the fact that it ends with them being like, all right, text us, we'll see you later, we'll make some food and bring it over. And they're like, yeah, just like the fact that they literally got to ride off into the sunset together was so fucking sweet.
So lovely. This Are you gonna go into kind of more of like the scenes each one's? Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about Scott's speech. Scott does the speech, and that brings up what you were talking about in the top of this episode, which is that the casual homophobia, right? So Scott says something along the lines of like, like hockey gave me everything. I didn't have anything. I had hockey. This is all I had. And I was really good at it. But imagine like being what you are being used as like the biggest insult. And I thought it was so important because I've got a lot of friends that have like I know quite a few queer Muslim people, and what's one of the hardest things that they grow up hearing is that what you are is an abomination. What you
Yep.
are is an insult. What you are is like the thing that people say to each other to make them feel like they're the worst person,
Yep.
right? And or that you're a joke. And it's so hard to be in those spaces because you are doing nothing but trying to be your absolute best, like especially someone like Scott Hunter, who is the captain of his team, right? Like you're supposed to be, or Shane, who is the first Asian hockey player, or Ilya, who is basically there to represent all of Russia on behalf of his family, right? Like they are there as as these representations of the top of what this position looks like, and then to be told that the part of you that you really are is that's the worst part of you. Like that is so sad.
Yeah.
And it's horrible, but like it like what he said was conversations I've had with so many queer Muslim people.
Yeah, it's that like it's so crazy, right? Like you and I, we've known about. I guess I mean I would say like knowing about gay people and like knowing about the lifestyle and all those things. I'd say I'd put it at like when we moved to America, right? That's
Yep.
when we kind of learned about gay people, and I don't know, man. Like I go through my own history of like at some point I understood that I don't know. Like at some point I understood that this wasn't, and this is so stupid, and I hope it doesn't sound offensive to anybody listening, but like at some point you realize like this isn't like a perversion, man. Like this
Yeah.
isn't a fetish. This
Yeah.
is this is people's truth, right?
Yep.
And we are obviously Muslim, and like there doesn't seem to be any gray area in contemporary and well, maybe not contemporary, but in mainstream Muslim communities, there's
Yeah.
no gray area about it, right? Like there
Mhm.
is, like if you talk to the older generation, or even if you talk to our generation, like generation,
Yeah.
people our age or whatever, the homophobia is so rampant, and
Yep.
again it's casual, and it's like a no-go, right? And
Yeah.
I hear this from guys that I talk to that are our own age or whatever, and really what it seems to me like is that they haven't done the work in exploring internally what it even
Yeah.
means to be gay for somebody, right?
Yeah.
They still very much look at it as a fetish, they look at it as a perversion, they think that you can become gay, and that's like, and it's like you see that kind of having really really bad effects on society because of how it affects things like fucking elections, right? Like
Yeah.
there people use the latent homophobia that is within religious communities to seize power and
Yep.
make your life terrible, right? So
Yep.
that speech is addressing that. It is something that, yeah, obviously it's a great scene in the show or whatever, but that's a conversation that people need to have with themselves, and they just
Yeah.
need to be honest about it. So
Yeah. Well, let's go over to Ottawa where we get to the airport. It's summer 2017, 9 years in the making. We are at the cottage. He's making fun of his car. He's just so cute. Really is so cute. He's like, what is this boring car?
yeah.
Like he just, but they enter. Okay, really, I love a single shot. When they enter the cottage, when they pull up to the cottage and Shane grabs Ilya's bags and takes him in, That is one single shot, Jacob Tierney. He walks in, he's showing him the house. And again, it's one of those like cutie things that you do when you're like so nervous around the person. He's like, you want a tour of the house? I built this house. It's really nice. The water's really good. I got a bunch of soda. I got groceries for us. So we don't need to leave. I have my own well. And Ilya's looking at him like, I fucking love you. You're so cute. You're such a cutie patootie. It's just so cute. That's where Ilya's like, Shane's like, if we hook up, it's gonna be really fast because I haven't done this in a while. And Ilya's like, yeah, I haven't either. He's like, what? You haven't hooked up with anybody else either? It's just so cute. The burgers, the domesticity, like, it's just so adorable. He's like, why are you making 8 burgers? And he's like, because that's the recipe. And he's like, you don't know how to do math? You can't do math?
Is that where he asked about his mom also? Or
yeah, he's like, he's like,
she's Japanese. She's Japanese.
He's like, that's where you get your looks from. And your dad, is that where you get your boring from?
And she's like, no. He works for the Treasury of Canada.
It's like crazy. He goes, little callback in a reheat. He says, like New Yorker reading boring man, like David or whatever, right? It's because when they were in Vegas and he had tears in his eyes and he's like talking shit to Shane. Shane's like, wow, your English has gotten really good. He's like, yeah, I've been reading the New Yorker. And he's like, you have? He's like, no, the New Yorker is boring. And he goes, oh, my dad reads the New Yorker. And so that's like a callback from 6 years ago where he remembered his dad reads the New Yorker and he's boring. He's like, what the fuck is McGill?
It's a really good school.
The fire pit scene when they're sitting together and he hears
the
the stupid Canadian wolf bird.
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that? Like, I love it. He's like, so we just stare at the fire. And he's like, yeah, you just stare at it. He goes, wow, Canada is crazy. But this is where we learn about Ilya's mom. We see that he's like a little bit jealous about Rose Landry. Like, Ilya, you multi-layered bastard. Wait, can we talk about the video game scene where they're playing video games and he's like, I'm gonna play as you? And he's like, I'm on the game. I'm on the cover of the fucking game. I'm like, it's just so cute. Like, they're playing soccer, they're playing video games. He's like, blows him while he's on the phone with his friend. Like, it's just, I'm like, this is
as you do.
Guys should just be gay. Like, guys should just, like, you don't understand. I don't understand. Here's the thing. Men who are homophobic are just jealous about the fact that other men get to hang out with their bros like this and then also fuck them. Like, that's really what it is. You're just mad that you can't do that because you're unfortunately attracted to women.
Yeah, counterpoint. Here's what I'll say as a heterosexual man. Have you seen women?
No, I know. You're telling me.
Svetlana.
Hello.
My God.
Yeah. The couch chat. They're sitting on the couch and they start talking about, he just starts talking about like marrying Svetlana. He's like, I can marry Svetlana because, you know, I don't want to go back to Russia. I got to figure out a way to be here. And Shane's like, he says something like, you know, he's like, Shane, you know, I have this problem. He's like, you know, I like women. You know, I like women. And Shane's like, okay. And he's like, they're beautiful women. They all want to like have sex with me. And Shane's like, yeah, sounds really terrible. And he's like, but I have this problem. There's this slow fucking hockey player with beautiful freckles I can't stop thinking about. I was like, oh my God, Ilya. And Shane's little yearning gay eyes filled with tears. No, Mary Svetlana. We'll figure out something. I was like, They're also sitting on the couch. Their like toesies are touching each other. Yeah. It's so cute. And then Shane wakes up Ilya in the middle of the night and tells him a plan. He's like, you're a free agent next year. Move to Ottawa. We'll do something together. And Ilya's like, do you care? Like, you want to do this? Like, you want to do this long term? And Shane's like, yeah, I do. He's like, I love you. He's like, what the fuck? I love you too. It's so cute. He's like, my mother would love you the way I love you. I'm like, oh my God, this is so sweet. Now, also they were goofing in the water. There's like a scene that everybody's like lost their minds because he goes up to Shane and he goes, give me a kiss. It's so cute. It's so cute. Every girl, by the way, wants to be with a guy who's like low-key macho, not in touch with his feelings, and then only shares his feelings with you.
With her.
Like
Yeah.
that
The specialness.
is that is really special. As you know, I'm married to a robot, but he says certain things to me where I go, oh, okay, I guess you really like me. Shane's dad shows up and he freaks out and he's having a panic attack. And I love this moment because he's like, Ilya, this is my fucking nightmare. And Ilya says, maybe it's time to wake up.
Yeah.
And then they're going to their dad's house, his parents' house. Another hilarious moment where he's like wearing the Boston, whatever, Bears shirt, whatever they are. And he's like, that's not going to help. And he goes, oh, they don't know I play for Boston? And then just the whole sequence at his parents' house where he's like, Dad, Mom, this is Ilya Rozanov. We are. And then Ilya goes, lovers.
And he goes, oh, that's gross.
He goes, Ilya, no, that's gross. Please don't say that. But like when they sit down and they talk, I just love Ilya because Ilya is, you know, when you meet him in the beginning of the show, he's very he's like always miserable around his father, always miserable in Russia, closed off as a person. But around Shane and even around Shane's family, right? He's like, everything's going to be fine. When Shane starts to have that panic attack, he's like, your parents are here. Your boyfriend is here. Like, I've been with a lot of girls, but I've only loved one man my entire life. Like, it's just so sweet and so loving.
He says to Shane, because Shane's having a panic attack, he just says, you're good here. It's like, you're good here.
You're good here. What do you got to worry about? Everything's fine.
Melted me. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
So cute. Let's talk about the conversation Shane has with his mom, because that scene fucked me up. It was so good.
Remember I said in the cousins chat that I was in the basement by myself watching the end with tears rolling down my eyes? Yeah. It was that scene.
He says, Mom, just know I really tried. Oh my God. Do you know how many people I've heard that from? Like, I've heard that so many times. That's the thing that I wish people would understand. Like, this is not some sort of like uncontrollable, unable to like sexually, you know, perverted or whatever. It's so hard. I've had so many conversations with my queer Muslim friends that have said that the moment that I figured out that I was probably gay, all I did was wish that I wasn't. Yeah. All I did was wish that I could be something else because I was so scared of what my parents would say and all that. And I love this moment because Yuna Hollander says, forgive me for not making like not allowing you to come out to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry that I made it a situation where you couldn't tell me what was going on. And that's like, that is parenting goals. That I was like, he's sobbing and he's crying and they're both crying. It's just so sweet. It's just,
it killed me.
It killed me. And then also love Shane's mom because Shane is his mother's son. She's like, all right, what's the plan?
Yeah.
Did you call Scott Hunter? What's the plan? What are we going to do next? Are you guys going to come out? Like, I love that they're both just like, everybody's like, all right, how do we do this where everybody's protected? Like, I love that. I love that now Ilya gets to have the parents that Shane had growing up that were like, we are committed to your success. And we're going to make sure that you guys are good.
Something about the scene with his mom, and I don't know if I'm sure, like, because they don't shy away from any of it, but like the fact that it was like the Asian side of him talking to, you know, his mom or whatever, like that really read, because it's never brought up, you know, but like Asian cultures, like our culture, do tend to be, you know, not as open. And so like seeing that moment between the two of them, it's never said, but it felt like it was right there under the surface or whatever.
Yeah.
It ruined me. It destroyed me.
Again, Hudson Williams acting.
So
Phenomenal. He's so good. Ugh, he's so good. I love them. Also, a little behind the scenes when they're sitting at the table and, Ilya's just like pounding down that spaghetti.
Mhm.
There's like a moment where you see Shane's hand like go on Ilya's hand, like stop eating, like they're talking.
Calm down, yeah.
Apparently it's because when they were filming the show, Connor's story wouldn't stop eating, and then they had to make more spaghetti and fill it up because they ran out of spaghetti because he wouldn't stop eating during all of the shoots. What a cutie pie. I do plan on reading the other books because they will be covered. There's 7 of them. So I will be covering the books, and I can't wait to watch more of the show.
Yeah. Have they announced anything about season 2 or anything like that?
Yeah, they're getting a season 2. They're getting a season 2. And I think that Jacob Tierney kind of talked about like they're probably not going to get a bigger budget because the thing that people are going to look at, a lot of production companies look at, is you did this with a small budget that you had. You obviously don't need more.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing what you're doing with the smaller budget you have. So hopefully that doesn't like change the show up because, as you said with The Pit this season, it's not good.
The Pit is letting me down big time. That show is really, really disappointing. No, obviously I want to watch season 2 of this, but actually, like, the thing that I'm most excited about is to see what like every actor does in the future, and then also what Jacob Tierney does, because that there's like it's so good, it's so undeniably good in every single way, right? So I want to see more stories from these creators. I want to watch these actors more on screen. So I'm just really glad that I got to watch it. So
yeah, we all deserve sunshine, and this show gave us sunshine. Okay.
Can we talk about Scott Hunter's running? He runs like
my god, the wackiest running. He's talked about it too. He's like, no, I'm supposed to be like not in my good form or whatever, and we're like, everybody said he looks like Phoebe running through the park.
Exactly.
I know the running is crazy. Scott Hunter, Francois Arnaud looks to me like Fawad Khan.
He does,
of Bollywood and Pakistan fame. But who would you say is your who's the finest to you in the show? Who are you just like gaga over?
You can't stop watching Ilya anytime he's on screen. Like every time he's on screen, I'm excited because he's gonna do something hilarious, and he's just really. But like, they're really obviously the 2 lead characters. I'm really, really excited about. I love watching Kip and Scott Hunter's story, but then even like the side characters, right? Like, I love Shane's parents. I want to hear from them because they're interesting people. Svetlana is a very interesting person to watch, and she seems honest. Plus, she's really hot, right? And like, so, to me, I think when it like what I think about when I think of the show, it's like 1A, 1B. 1A is probably Ilya. 1B is I think he's Hudson Williams is just an incredible actor, and he's just he's really like, I mean, it's so weird to say like he's more like the soul of the show because he's not. Like, they need one another. Because like Ilya's story and like his softness and like all that stuff really adds to the show. Like, it's undeniable.
So good. Hudson Williams also, and like Rachel Reed, who wrote the books, has also said that Shane is on the spectrum. Like, he's a little autistic, which is why he's like so literal with everything, and why he's like so like he almost like opens up more when he has that physical connection with Ilya, but he doesn't quite know like the words. It's hard for him to like get the words out. And so Hudson Williams has talked about it, and he said that his dad is autistic. His dad's on the spectrum. So he channeled a lot of like the little mannerisms from his own father when he was playing the character of Shane. I was like, that's so smart. Like, he's just so good. They're both so good. Also, they seem like really cool guys. Everybody needs to cool how they're acting about them on the internet. People are like harassing them. Like, people are harassing Francois Arnaud because allegedly the rumors were that he and Connor were dating, and then people got mad because they think that Connor and Hudson should date. And then Hudson this week was like, he kind of hard launched his girlfriend on his Instagram. So everybody's like, everybody needs to be cool about these guys. Okay. First of all, they were like not famous 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So chill out, everyone. But yeah, I'm just excited. Connor's story is going to be he's going to be on SNL later this month.
Is he?
Yes.
I can't wait to watch
But
that.
I want to see Hudson on SNL because he seems hilarious.
He seems hilarious in like the interviews or whatever.
He's so
I'm
good
sure
on the
he's going to
interview.
show up. I hope he shows up, obviously.
Yeah, I hope so too. Anyway, thanks for watching this show with me, Raheel. I really appreciate it.
You know, it was so hard. It was such hard work for me to do. It was really, really challenging. No, I'm joking. It's lovely. It's lovely. I can't recommend it enough to people. Not to all people, obviously, because I guess I would recommend it to all people. It's like, hey, watch it and don't be a closed-minded asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it's worth
it's
it.
It's my litmus test. And guess what, ladies? Your husband is going to be reaping the benefits of you watching this show. So maybe make your husband watch it too. Okay, hot as hell. Anyway, that's it. And I think that it goes to show, Raheel, that almost everything I've recommended to you to watch has been good. So I think it's finally time for you to admit that I have good taste.
There you go. I said that before. I trust your standards. I also now need to account for your horny. And I don't know.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.